next wave of moisture, it's not too far away. It's kind of on our doorstep there, but it's primarily the hours of about 1 to 6 p.m. that this would be the main concern. So you see near Birmingham, rain, but is known right behind that in northwestern Alabama into parts of Mississippi. This is where it is a wintry mix of precipitation, all tied to this cold front right here. Now, this cold front is going to be moving eastward. Look what's happening here into parts of Tennessee. The temperatures actually surge immediately ahead of that front, and that's leaving that an area of rain that will likely change back over. But in the meantime, we're going to be watching this a little break here, what the temperatures are doing, and we also know this cold front is going to be supporting some much stronger winds, especially overnight and into tomorrow. So what does this mean for us? It means we're actually still on track overall with our expected ice totals. We'll point out that Northwest Georgia is no longer in the ice storm warning, but any ice conditions you might have picked up earlier in the morning, that's probably going to do it for you. However, in Northeast Georgia, we've already had reports in places like Pickens County where there's been more than a half an inch of ice, but more areas could cross that threshold with time. And if you're closer to LaGrange or Thomaston, you might escape this afternoon with nothing more than rain. Actually, it might include some thunder. That's not going to be out of the question, but there's going to be so much rain with this next round. There's not ample opportunity for this to dry out very well overnight, even though the winds are increased. Sometimes the winds work in our favor and kind of dry out the moisture from the roadways. I'm not sure that we can do that, and as a result, flash freezing of water on the roads would be a problem going into Monday morning commute. Now, keep in mind, each area of North Georgia plays out a little differently here. So this is specific to Metro Atlanta, where we're still near freezing for maybe another hour or two. Then we start rising above freezing. The rain chances rise, and then the temperatures crash tonight and crash to a level that there's actually a cold weather advisory issued for the hours of 4 to 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. It's not just the cold. That's problematic because of the freezing that happens, but the wind. 5 degrees above zero. So we're going to be mapping out in the hour-by-hour forecast how this afternoon round is going to look. I'll have more in a few minutes, but right now let's get a check of Skyfox traffic. Natalie?
Morning on the west side perimeter, 285 northbound right before MLK Junior Drive. We had a crash that cleared, so that lane is back open. You can see the wet roads. Just be really, really careful if you are deciding to hit the roads this morning because it's slick, it's icy, a lot. The black ice is also something you just really want to be aware of. We're also seeing down power lines. This one is new in northwest Atlanta at Moores Mill Road between Ridgemore Road and Barkley Close. We're seeing this DOT camera right near Bolton Road. You're going to want to take DeFore Ferry Road as an alternate. This is just one area that we saw power lines down, and we're seeing traffic lights flashing on West Paces Ferry Road at Northside Parkway. This camera is near West Paces and 75. So down trees, down power lines, branches, slick, wet, icy roads. Alex, we still got a lot going on, and I know that you're following everything for us this morning.
Yeah, Natalie, that's right. And it's not just here in Metro Atlanta. We're following details all across North Georgia, and that includes White County, where now 1 in 3 people are without power. I want to bring in Don Strength from the White County Public Safety Department up there and talk a little bit about what's going on, Don, and what we're looking at here as we work our way through the morning hours. How have things been up there?
Well, we were in very good shape up until about maybe 9 o'clock this morning, and that's when we started losing parts of our power grid from basically Cleveland back to the north and back to the east, and it happened so fast. And just in the last couple of hours now, we've lost about half of our power grid here in the county. Our fire department was responding to trees on power lines with fire involved in it. Thankfully, no one's been injured in any of these incidences, but we are seeing our power grid go down. It's going down quickly, and we probably got somewhere between 1/4 and 1/2 inch of ice accumulation in most locations across White County. And all those things Joanne was talking about just a few moments ago is what has us concerned as we get into the afternoon hours, and then here comes that wind after dark tonight that could really bring us to our knees in White County.
So, Don, we were obviously talking about round 2 and what's anticipated. If somebody doesn't have power right now in White County, what are they able to do about it?
Well, we are very lucky in that we have relief crews from all over the country that are staged right here in White County that's assisting Georgia Power and Habersham Electric to get the power back up, and have been somewhat successful in some of the bigger, harder hit areas. My fear is we're going to lose it all again tonight. So what everyone needs to do is stay where you are. White County has done a phenomenal job in staying off of the roads, and from a public safety standpoint, we greatly appreciate that. Stay put, you're prepared. Shelter in place. Do not get on the roadways just because we're in a little bit of lull right now. The treated roadways that GDOT and our local road department have been working, they've got the major roads in decent shape. They've got a little slush on them. Secondary roads are horrible. And then the further up mountain you go, the worse everything is. Stay at home. Stay shelter in place. Stay off the roads. And hopefully we can get through this thing.
All right, Don, thank you very much. One more quick question for you. I'm curious, yesterday in the slide press conference, the state parks director mentioned that there would be various warming centers at the different parks. And of course, you guys have Vogel up there. Is that going to be an option potentially in the next couple of days?
Well, we actually have a shelter that is open at our Park and Rec department here in White County. The city of Helen is offering their city hall as a warming station. And so we have that availability now. The fear is once we flash freeze tonight, no one's going to be able to get there, Alex.
Okay, Don, certainly going to be watching the details up there in White County. Thank you for joining us this morning. Stay in touch. Let us know what happens this afternoon, because, of course, White County up there in northeast Georgia, they always get the wedge, right? They're first in line here in the state of Georgia. If the Metro's getting it, White County's getting it as well. So, Tom and Elise, we're going to keep an eye on what's going on, of course, across our mountain counties, particularly there in northeast Georgia.
Good insider information, Alex, as to what's happening up there and what they're facing here in the hours to come. Alex, thanks. As we've been saying all morning long, conditions continuing to get worse out there as the second round of weather rolls in and as the winter storm brings freezing rain and ice to a good chunk of North Georgia.
Yeah, certainly so. We have a team of reporters positioned all across the area. They are tracking the storm. So how about we check back in with Good Day's Mark Teichner. He has been on the ground there in Brazelton since the early hours of the morning, where you have seen just about everything this morning, Mark.
Yeah, we've seen all kinds of frozen precipitation right now. I guess we would call it sort of a frozen mist that's going on. I'm going to skate my way back towards this plant. Now, we've been plucking ice off this thing, this poor guy, all day long. Try to find a good one there. Here it is. The last hour, we got one, and I showed it, and I didn't know what kind of plant it was. So my wife, who's a would-be botanist, called and said it's a camellia plant, for those folks, if anybody needs to know. But it's got about 1/4 inch of ice on it. And if you take a look at the parking lot here at the hotel where we're staying near Chateau Elan, it is, as we mentioned, kind of like a ice skating rink. Now, the good news is, you might recall the last hour, we kind of kicked this area around. It hasn't fully refrozen. So that's a good sign that it's not super duper cold, but it is certainly cold enough and below freezing, about 27, 28 degrees. Our big concern is going to be that second round, expected to come through in the next couple of hours. Now, we are expecting it, at least at the beginning, to be throwing down some frozen precipitation. The question is, will the temperature go up enough, meaning will that wedge retract enough so that eventually that will turn into actual rain? We are expecting through the Fox 5 Storm Team app to see the temperatures go up to maybe in the mid to upper 30s by late tonight. The question, though, is how low will it drop after that? Because during the overnight hours, it's going to plummet back down into the low to mid 20s, which is going to cause that refreezing that we keep talking about, making the roads treacherous, bringing down the power lines, bringing down the trees. So all of the stuff that we are dealing with now, we're going to deal with again. Because of that, schools have been canceled in all 4 of the districts that serve this particular area. Barrow County, Jackson County, and Hall County canceled schools. Gwinnett County, they're doing virtual, so digital learning from home. So they don't want anybody on the roads as well. That is the latest here. We are just sitting by waiting for the rain/freezing rain to come back, and we will let you know when it does.
Yeah, Mark, and I think
from Brazelton, I'm our Tiger. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was going to say your live shot and location perhaps is demonstrable of what's happening on the roads, which we've been talking about here for 24 hours, because you're getting a layer upon layer of ice and the hard stuff on the bottom that is making this so tricky.
Yeah, because it first started as rain, and obviously it was water, and then it froze, and then we got a little bit of snow, which temporarily gave us some traction, but then it turned into that sheet of ice that you can really see is full-blown ice. And the problem is, even if it does melt, which it might, tonight, it's going to refreeze, and there's no way that wind that's going to come down and knock those trees down is going to dry up this water in time for that particular situation. So that's why we're going to get that refreezing tomorrow, one way or the other. It's just how cold will it get? How much of a hard freeze will it get? And really the best thing everyone can do, we keep saying it over and over again, shelter in place, stay at home, don't go out and try to risk it.
Very true. All right, Mark, thank you so much for the latest on that. We appreciate it.
I want to get over to Fox 5 Storm Team meteorologist Joanne Feldman. Joanne, I guess here in the coming days, talking about Monday, Tuesday, what kind of job can the sun do to melt some of this stuff before night falls again and then refreezes back down into the teens?
Right. I mean, this is going to be a very slow thaw, but that's one thing to keep in mind. The sun will work some magic, not really as much as we'd like during the day Monday. Some areas won't even get above freezing, but as long as the sun is out, the melting can start. It's just that we get so cold in the overnights, it refreezes quickly once again. Maybe we start to get some better improvements by Tuesday, but in the meantime, these are the numbers that we're going to be watching very closely, especially as round 2 comes in later today. This is the number of customers without power across North Georgia so far. Greatest numbers found in Raven and White counties. Let's give you a little perspective on what that 9,000 number means there. In White County, that's more than half of the customers currently without power. And again, that's just after round 1. And that's the way it looks in White County now. We were just chatting in the Weather Center here a moment because Fox 5 Storm Team Chief Meteorologist David Chanley's even in the house over here, talking about even just the drizzle, just what's hanging in the air out there. That starts to freeze on surfaces also, making it even sneakier. Even if you don't see something on the radar, you don't see a lot falling from the sky, it can still make what's already a rough situation rougher before we add in a lot more moisture, because it's not just heavy, it's not just freezing rain is coming in, it could be heavy freezing rain for the afternoon. So here's what we're watching. We got this back to the west. That's that next wave of moisture. When it moves into northwest Georgia, that's going to be a very cold rain, but it's moving into this zone right here. Does this hold the freezing and below freezing numbers to the north and east? Feel very confident that it will hold, unfortunately, in places like Gainesville or maybe over to Athens. But since we're sitting right at freezing in Atlanta now, that number fluctuates a little bit. That's the difference between a lot of freezing rain or some heavy rain. Either way is an issue tonight, because as Mark Teichner referenced, even with the wind picking up tonight, there will have been so much rain, even in the areas that just got rain. We can't really dry that out effectively enough to prevent some big problems with refreezing overnight in even, again, spots that just got rain during the day today. So the greatest concern for where we could have extreme freezing rain impacts, that's outlined right here. This is the zone to watch that's still a bit in question. How much more freezing rain versus rain are you going to get? But we're watching the hours of 1 to 6 p.m., especially in this area in northeast Georgia. It's the rapid accumulation of ice that's a problem now. You could easily pick up another quarter to a half an inch of ice just this afternoon on top of what you've already gotten, and then that concern that anything that's out there can experience a flash freeze overnight. We've been showing you a couple of different models here where every degree makes a difference. One keeping us below freezing when this heavy rain is moving through Atlanta. This one by 1 or 2 p.m. might have us around 33 or 34 degrees. That would be a very cold rain, but still only 20s in Cornelia at this hour. We still got that moisture extending back to Alabama at that point, which buys us a few more hours some moisture until the sun sets. And once the sun sets, there may not be anything additionally falling from the sky, but the temperatures are absolutely crashing here. There is not going to be a single part of our viewing area that is above freezing tonight. In fact, we will wake up to some spots in the teens tomorrow morning, and even those 20s could feel like they are in the single digits. So here's your Fox 5 Storm Team forecast, trying to narrow down when are we going to get the biggest improvements. And tomorrow's not necessarily our day. We will start the melting process, but we'll do a little better job Tuesday afternoon. We just got to get past that 16-degree morning temperature. And then while we have 40s each afternoon going forward, still every single night is below freezing. And presumably each night there'll be less and less black ice. But I suspect at this rate, some of you will be dealing with patchy black ice at least for many more days to come.
Yeah, 16 degrees, that hurts, Joanne.
You're stuck with the bitter cold for a while.
It's the air that hurts your face. Yeah.
Joanne, thanks.
Thank you.
Well, there's no school today since, of course, it's Sunday after all. Several districts already making calls for tomorrow. Just head to our website. We got a comprehensive list there of all the closings at Fox 5 Atlanta, or if you have it on your phone, and we hope you do, the Fox local app, where we have this list breaking it all down. It is updated in real time, so you don't miss a thing.
Yeah, worth checking out. I want to show this. This is from Lynn. She sent us this photo from Roswell. You can see the icicles there on their the recycle bin, it looks like. So, yeah, definitely got hit there in Roswell.
Time now, 11:18, and as we continue, we're going to have more winter weather coverage as our area gets blanketed with ice and freezing rain. This is a live look at Hartsfield-Jackson International, where things are coming and going, but with hours and hours of delays. We'll talk about it as we continue here.
So y'all just want to give y'all some insight of, how the road was looking in Georgia, how my route was looking. Like you can see, it's not too much ice on the ground. I'm still driving, a little under the speed limit, much safer because there's not a lot of traffic on the road. So I'm headed towards North Georgia, what they was just talking about on the news right now. I'm going up towards White, Georgia. I'm not sure if the warehouse, the facility I'm going to, lost power. I'm pretty sure they got power. They probably would have notified the broker, like, hey, we lost power, you know what I'm saying? We can't do any shipping or receiving today. So I'm pretty sure the warehouse that I'm going to got some power. And they got generators also, so yeah, man, the roads is not that bad. I haven't seen any accidents. So I'm picking up right here in White, Georgia, and I'm headed to Arizona. I'm gonna take 10, so I'm gonna take 10, go all the way down, and go west on 10. Hopefully 10 to be a lot safer. I did see the forecast that was in Louisiana. It looked pretty good. I think it was a lot worse going up towards Shreveport, like on 20. But yeah, we look good right now, man. I just wanted to let y'all, get some insight, how the roads is looking on my commute. I'm going to pick up this load, and we don't look too bad. But you definitely want to stay away from vehicles if you can. You want to stay away. One thing about civilian vehicles, the light ones, even though semis too, we can jackknife, we can slide those smaller cars and just have a higher percentage of that slide moving around real easily. So you don't want no car to just veer out the road or veering towards you. You know what I'm saying? Because then you have to reflect, and we don't want you to over. So yeah, man, that's how the Sunday going. You can definitely see the ice on the trees. You can definitely see the heavy ice on the trees. So it makes sense, why power will be out, because the ice is so heavy, it's pulling. It's pulling on the power lines, it's pulling on the trees. So that's the cause of it. So yeah, man, the road's looking clear, like you say, not too many people on the road. Actually just trying to get my load and get up out of here so I can go west. Haven't been west in a while anyway. You might just go to California after we leave Arizona, ain't no telling. But yeah, we ain't been west in a while. it'll be a fine time to go west, man. Going back to Cali, baby. Man, this motherfucker here doing 70 miles per hour. Crazy. Let him go on about his business. Hope he be safe, but you ain't got no business driving like that, bro, on this road. Silly ass. The party's here on the west side. So yeah, man, I'm headed west, baby.
Area in Marguerite Branch, so that's been handled, and you know we've seen crews pass by all the time. But going back to that animal hospital, they say that if they weren't open, people would have to drive further into Gwinnett County and possibly even closer to Atlanta city limits to get care for their pets. Tom, Elise.
Okay, gotta think about them through all of this cold as well.
Great to see they're staying up and open, Ray, and very, very cool before and afters.
Yeah.
Of like the dry roadways. That was,
oh my
was
God.
That just yesterday, Ray, right? And then this morning where everything's covered with pretty much snow and ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the before video, that was taken just after our shift yesterday, after the Fox Local shift. So that was taken at about 12 o'clock yesterday, and here we are 24 hours later, and you can see all the snow, sleet, and ice that has fallen in that time.
Ray, careful on that. Hope they make it safely. Hope they are.
That's like, it looks like they made it safe. They ran a little bit. I think they're good. A good idea, though. Yeah, they're good.
Good. Be careful on that slick parking lot that you're on, Ray. We'll see you soon. Thank you. And of course, our winter weather coverage continues right here at the Fox 5 Atlanta studios.
Yeah, it iced here overnight, just like it did pretty much everywhere else. Let's get out to Paul Milliken live on the Fox 5 weather deck with a look at conditions out there. Paul?
Yeah, and guys, let me tell you why I love our viewers, okay? So a guy named Tom called the desk and said, Paul Milliken, it's not a true test.
So yeah, that's it, y'all. I'm finna end the live, man. Thank y'all for jumping in the lane with me, man. Cruising through Georgia. Definitely keep y'all posted, man. Updated, man, on how this load go. You know, the safety. But yeah, thank y'all again, man. Y'all have a great day, man. Stay blessed. Stay safe. Thank God, man, for providing that breath. What can make it more dangerous because it's raining. You know, we got a light rain, it's cold, rain, ice, sleet. So yeah, you definitely want to be careful. No sudden turns and hitting your brakes and all that right there, man. Just, you know, drive a little bit under the speed limit. Hit the speed limit 55, 60, you know, do 50, 70, do 60, 55. Don't be in a rush, man. Especially not being no bitch. So man, take your time, man. Go where you need to go. Y'all have a blessed day.